Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 32, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. So, yesterday we just completed Chapter 31. Is there any question or, because at the end of every chapter we do take some questions. Is there any question, comment, discussion? You are most welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in chapter 30, there was a statement in the purport written by Prabhupada ji that a person who leaves the body without the knowledge of his family members, that is considered as a very glorious death. And at the same time, we also talk about so many samskaras, etc. That is the rituals which are to be conducted after the death, etc. So how do we understand this, Prabhuji?
Yeah, right. Very good question. So this is basically, first thing is it is about previous ages. This is not for Kali Yuga. There are many things which are not meant for Kali Yuga actually. Later we are going to hear something even more horrifying in the sense, frightening than what this is. Especially when we come to the 7th canto, we'll hear how the Vanaprastha should live his life after retirement. It is said that one should go to the Vana, one should, wear the tree bark, Valkala, and this is how one should be conducting one's life. So all that is about the previous ages and not specifically for Kali Yuga. Now, see, what happens is, in the cycle of Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali Yuga is just 10% of any given cycle. Right? We know that, 2 times of Kali is Dwapar Yuga, 3 times of Kali is Treta Yuga, 4 times of Kali is Satya Yuga. So 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 10. Out of that, only one portion is Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is just the 10% of the entire cycle of the Divya Yuga. So what happens is, when the principles are spoken because the literature, the scriptures are immortal, eternal. Principles are spoken for primarily for many other ages as well. And when we apply those principles in Kali Yuga, we very heavily need consideration of time, place, and circumstance. This is very important to understand. So till where, Pandavas retire timely, till then also, till Dwapar Yuga and conclusion of the Dwapar Yuga, when this was the case, that one will go to the north and he will die a glorious death, without family mourning, this and that and everything else. But this is not now for Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the samskaras are there, Ante samskar and other things. Those are important samskaras. And one should perform also those samskaras. Nowadays, there is another fad which has come up, and especially it has come up in, Pune, and typically the Brahmin community of Pune. Okay, typical Sadashipeti, Puneri Brahmins. The fad has come up is that, they simply do nothing after, nothing of the samskara. There were some Marathi movies had come up some Deul Bandh and something like that. And but so one has to be very careful that these samskaras are very, very important. And coming to the question, this is not specifically for this age. Okay, this age one should go ahead with the samskara and everything. Right?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Any other question?
One more question, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
How
yes.
women were made part of the four varnas, Prabhuji? What was their role? How they were trained? What was their part, Prabhuji?
Women had a very, very critical part in preserving culture. In fact, that's why you will see, the one of the major reason Arjuna says is, about Varna Sankara, Pradushyanti, Kulastriya, and everything. So they were to be treasured. That is the idea, right? See, even the Abrahamic idea of parda to the woman and those kind of traditions, it's a very exploitative idea. What is their idea? Their idea is a horrible idea. Actually, we'll not go in such a dirty discussions. What their idea is, but their idea is that this property belongs to me, and only I will enjoy the property. That is the idea of when Abrahamics, specifically want to protect the woman. But the Sanatan idea of woman the protection of the woman is, is that they are treasure to be preserved. That is the idea. And that's why you will see that, warriors having such tremendous wars. And not only that, even just 500 years ago, if you hear about the Johars in Rajasthan, there were some 4 or 5 prominent Johars took place in Rajasthan, where all these Rajput ladies in thousands, right? You must have seen that Padmavat movie. So Rani Padmavati, and then there are many very, very famous Johars of Rajasthan. And what this is all about, this is all about women protecting their own sanctity. In fact, there is one speaker, what is his name? Omendra Ratnu. Okay, you can just Google this fellow, Omendra Ratnu. Okay, and he very elaborately talks about the Johars in Rajasthan. He has written a book also, and that will highlight what is the sanctity of woman in the Vedic culture. So often sometimes there may be some comment here and there about woman is a māyā for the man, and largely because the scriptures were spoken in the mainly assembly, this is the case. But māyā is, and vice versa is also true. But the Sanatan Dharma is the only culture where woman is kept at the pedestal of God, and in fact greater than God. Right? You cannot imagine also that any womanly figure as a god in any other culture. Neither it is Christianity or other religion. There is no way. There is no question of that kind of culture there. So, so how they were trained? Generally, what happened is, there were two ways of doing it. One thing was, even the girls went to Gurukul and learned under the Guru, and that's why you hear the big names like Gargi and Lopamudra, Maitreyi, Gargi. These are the personalities they were like who's who in mathematics, physics, astrophysics, so on and so forth. The general course of action was that the girl was trained in the house by the mother, grandmother, and others, and they were very, later we'll see in the 10th canto, the ladies in the house had such phenomenal understanding of the politics, understanding of graha, nakshatra, understanding of samskara. They were like the walking encyclopedia, understanding of Ayurveda. Right, in Maharashtra, it is still famous. Aji Baisa Batwa, correct? Aji always had some medicine, which is like immediately to be given. So all this knowledge was passed on, and and this is how the girl was trained within the house. The boy was trained within the Gurukul. Guru identified the varna of the boy. And ashrama was very clear for most of the people. Ashrama was grihastha ashram. Varna was understood, and then he was trained in that varna, and then he's sent back. He will take that profession and lead a very happy, positive life. And this is how it went on. You will be shocked to know India had 7 lakh gurukuls before the British system came in. the macular system came in. There is a very amazing book by Dharmaraj. Dharmaraj, yeah. Uh, Name of the book is Ramaniya Vriksha. So it talks about the glorious Indian Gurukul system. India has 7 lakh villages. India has, and every village had its own Gurukul. All we hear about Takshashila, Nalanda, and other things, but no, even every place had their own Gurukul, and this is how the masses were trained. Otherwise, how this the huge the knowledge base is being passing on from one generation to another? This is because of the Gurukul system. So this is how the boys and girls were trained, and they were trained in everything. It is not that they were under parda or burqa or kind of a thing. They were trained to be warriors. They were trained to be the politicians. That's why you see Tararani, Maharani Tararani. She were fighting so valiantly with Aurangzeb. There is no, I mean, there is no comparison to that kind of a valor that she showed. Rani Lakshmi Bai, I mean, these are like tremendous fighters. What to speak of Jizamata, she's like the crest jewel of the whole thing. So, so we have to understand all this. Later, what happened is because of this very barbaric invasion of the Mughals, some of the Mughal traditions were taken up to protect the womanliness, or the sanctity of the woman. And that's why even the parda and other things also came in the Sanatan culture, because primarily because of to be saved from the barbarism. But if one digs deeper in the history, and and now it is happening in a big way, then one can actually, you must have seen that movie, right? History of Itihasa. So many points were, at a few points were at least covered there. Then there are many good channels that you can refer to understand this. There is one, Jaipur Dialogue is one very good channel. Then there is on Twitter, you will find True Indology. Okay, this is like go to place for anything related to Sanatan Dharma and culture. And of course, the fellow is a little immature because of the age, very young man, but very, very learned. And then there are many, this Omendra Ratno you can hear for, how women were protected during the Rajput time, how the Rajputs, what sacrifices they have done, and so on and so forth. Right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to know. I mean, now there's a lot of fad regarding this organ donation and all. So, I mean, any comments or whether it's good, bad? I mean, like the
Yeah.
rituals and all later on.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
just
Yes.
maybe in short. Yeah.
They exactly did not want to have this question only in the discussion. Anyway, so
Sorry. I'm sorry.
no, not like that. We have to confront anyways. See, now organ donation, there is a catch-22 situation, because the Antya Samskara, when it says, what happens is that when it's supposed to do Antya Samskara, it is supposed to be done for a full body. You cannot have some organs missing and that is done for the particular that the liver is missing, heart is missing, eyes are missing, and then the remaining body is done Antya Samskara. That is not allowed actually. Per se, the samskara as Antya Samskara. At the same time, Sanatan Dharma is something which adapts very fast to to the time, place, circumstances, and there are provisions for adaptation. And as the of course, see, it is not that this is only the modern phenomena of organ donation. In fact, the scriptures talk about, later we'll hear even in Bhagavatam also, that Yayati giving his youth to his Yayati is accepting youth from his son Puru, and Puru becomes old and Yayati becomes young and he enjoys his life. Modern science is yet to reach to that place, how that somebody is transferring one's life to someone else. Okay, currently modern science is very grossly doing about transferring the organs from here and there. So and there is element of goodness there also. There is element of appreciation there as well. So how it is done is, whenever certain organ is donated, and that's based on individual's will, then what is done is those part of the body, they are prepared as pinda, and then and then there is a particular vidhi that is being followed before the final activity, and then the final activity continues. So this is the midway that is being made available currently.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Right? Yes. So it's an individual choice what one wants to do. But if one decides to go ahead for organ donation, then this is the midway that is offered by the Vedas. Now, from where this is coming? This is coming from a place. Sometimes the Kshatriyas, when they are, they are killed on the battlefield, certain organs were missing there as well, right? Like hand is amputated, sometimes
Right.
somebody is beheaded, something like that. Then and the the injunction there in for the final vidhi is that the body has to be full. Now what to do with this? And therefore the the samskara manual talks about preparing some something like with dough and everything, you prepare something, those missing organs, and then so from that place this comes from, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anything else?
Even donation
So
of
we come to
blood.
a donation of blood is also same thing. So again, this also I did not want to touch up. Donation of blood is also the same thing. So what is the see, there are multiple paradigms to understanding, like one devotee I asked, he said that, hey, what a dhan you are doing, this is so tamoguni dhan it is, you are donating blood. At the same time, the modern realities are, we have to be in sync with modern realities also, like sometimes the blood donation is required. So the best course of action, what I realized is, that go to Bhaktivedanta hospital and donate your blood. That will take care of many many things, right? So no direct indication on that. So one should prepare one's mind positively, and one can perform the activity. Because I was very strong in blood donation actually. I began with and I had that idea that I will do Shatakam, 100 times blood donation. This is way back when I was in first year engineering, 1994. In 1995 I became a devotee. And then then we had, and that time we were even more closed understanding of scriptures and quite fanatic about everything. And somebody asked me that, oh, you are donating blood, but with your blood somebody does some wrong karma, and then that part of karma will come to you also, because your energy is also involved. So we had such complicated understanding of everything, and then I stopped only then. But I still have that Sassoon card donating blood in 1994. Then I thought, better donate blood in the form of preaching, which is like sweat and toil, and you energy. Blood means what? Energy. So use that energy for something else. So it's flexible. One should have a clear understanding, like Ranti Dev has the understanding that I am doing this sacrifice for the living entities who are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And then it's perfectly fine. One can go ahead with that. Best way to do is, with this understanding, do it in a place which is conducted by the devotees, and then then this becomes a kind of devotional service, right?
Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, just wanted to confirm one understanding. The living entity in the womb, not all living entities can remember Lord and his relation with the Lord. Not everybody prays, right? That's very rare case.
Yeah, that's very rare case. Yes,
Okay,
generally
that's all.
it is there only for the humans, and that also for the select humans. That's why Janturu Vacha Prabhupada translate, the human soul prays.
Yeah, because the living entity ends up praying that just so that I am able to remember you, let me be in the womb only. But still, he has to take birth and get in touch with the material energy.
No, see, sometimes what happens now, we pray something, but our intent is something else. Like when if we are somebody in intense pain, or somebody is in a very intense association, somebody is in very intense association of Maharajas or, something like that, what happens is that their mood prevails over our mood also. And we also begin to pray like what they are praying. But Lord is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. So, the Lord will also not take our prayers very seriously. He will say, okay, Baba, I know your heart. I know you inside out. Correct. He is Antaryami. So what he will do is, he will take the prayers, at their own level of understanding, what otherwise we generally want to offer the prayers. Correct. So the living entity has so many desires, but because of the intense pain, he's praying like this. But Lord doesn't want the surrender as a gunpoint surrender. Out of pain, you are surrendering to the Supreme Lord. That's why out of these four, Artho, Jigyasur, Artharthi, Jnani, four are great who are surrendering to Krishna. But one who surrenders in knowledge, in spite of many other options when we choose Krishna, right? That shows our love towards Krishna. It is not that out of pain I am choosing Krishna, out of material inconvenience I want Krishna. These are very low levels of motivations. And that's why you see when Arjuna and Duryodhan were there, Lord Krishna said, no, Arjuna, first you choose. Because Lord Krishna knew that Arjuna is going to choose me, but that choice, choosing Krishna, has to happen out of free will of a living entity, not that no option is left, therefore I am choosing. That is not so great. Correct. If Duryodhana would have chosen the army, then Arjuna had no other option than to choose Krishna. But Krishna wanted a choice from Arjuna. And then he said, no, I saw you first, so you choose first. You choose between. And Duryodhana was praying inside, Baba, what he is going to choose now? And then when Arjuna chose Krishna, Duryodhana just laughed and he said that you forget battle, you have already lost the battle by this choice. And who will go away with such powerful two Aukshani Sena of Yadavas? You have lost it. And Arjuna said, I have actually won it at this point of time. So one has to choose. Similarly, so what happens is that, that Lord also takes our prayers with his own moderation and, with his own normalization process. He will not take the prayers on the face value. Correct?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The first, this first verse in this chapter, this Andha Tamishra hell is there. So is come for our previous life, is come to our free will. This Andha Tamishra.
Later in the 5th canto, we will see that what the hell is and what the what the hellish planets are and what the other planets are. So it's a very intricate understanding, and generally, this is understanding which actually is going to be a very new dimension it will give to our understanding. Generally, we treat Patala, Sutala, Talatala as the hellish planets, but they are not the hellish planets in the sense that Naraka is different than the the lower. So there are three types of Swargas. Later we'll come to this detailed discussion when it comes to 5th canto. And the Naraka is a completely different planet, which is beyond the 14 planetary systems. And there, the hellish planets are there, and different punishments are there. So, and particular sin, there is a particular punishment at a particular hellish planets, Naraka, and and this is different than the 14 planetary systems. So, let us not put in too much of a discussion now here, because very soon we are going to come there to those discussions on the 5th canto. Correct?
Okay.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu Dandatpranam. Prabhu, small
That
question.
was,
Prabhu, Devoti was asking, I completely lost what question she asked to Kapil Dev, but I was a little surprised why Kapil Dev is instructing about all this so difficult, I mean, even difficult to general people, so difficult concept to his mother actually. I'm a little confused actually.
Well, the same reason why Krishna is talking about Arjuna's question is, should I fight or not? And Lord Krishna is going all over place. There is 3 modes of material nature. There is life after death. There is, that Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. The answer is so simple. Baba, fight. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the discussions like this, especially with the very intimate associates of the Lord, they are for education to the general masses. Correct.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
And it is Like Arjuna, Prabhupada writes in the one of the purport that Arjuna was put into illusion so that he will. And then Arjuna also keeps on asking so many different things. Sthita Pradnasya ka bhasha. Baba, you have come to fight the war. The Shankhanath is already done. What is Sthita Pradnya and all these things you are discussing? No. Bhagavad Gita is not for Arjuna. Of course, it is for Arjuna in a way, but Bhagavad Gita is for all of us. And that setting is created so that the knowledge flows very deeply.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right.
Yes, Prabhu.
So,
but here
this
it's
is
little
always
difficult situation, right, Prabhu?
Yes,
I mean, like we don't see Prabhupada saying that Devuti was put into illusion, kind of. Like she herself getting regretted, saying that, okay, I wasted a lot of time, though my husband was a great devotee. I didn't learn that aspect of devotional service from him, though she was serving so faithfully to him. She didn't gain that knowledge from him. So here,
Yeah.
like the kind of topics which Kapil Dev was explaining to her is very, very technical, actually. I mean, probably it's necessary for us, for sure. But should we also understand the same way that she was used as a medium to express this knowledge to us?
One way that, another way is even her, even her questions were like that. Please explain me, the characteristic of time, movement of the
Okay.
living entity, right?
Okay.
So if you see the questions that she's asking, the question that she's asking is those kind of questions only,
Okay.
very specific,
Okay.
right? And this shows that although she is a mother and although she is the woman per se, very technically she's asking questions, and very technically the Lord is also answering those questions.
Okay.
Got
Okay.
it now? So this is the beauty. I mean, she is asking such deep questions. That is devotee. And the Lord is also answering. And when Lord takes a position, he takes on the position. Look at the question she has. We summarize that 7 questions she asking. Dispel my illusion. What is the Adhyatmika yoga? What is the characteristics of Bhakti yoga? What is the process of Jnana? What is Sankhya? What is Kriya? What is Virata Rupa? This is the question she's asking. Right? Please tell me the continual of birth and death of a jiva. Now what the Lord will do?
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay.
So correct. So all these questions, now this chapter 30 to 32, 30 to 32, 30, 31, 32 is answering Devavati's 7th question. Continual birth and death of the jiva. She is asking question that in 29th chapter.
Okay.
3rd question. 3.29.3, question 7. And because her question is such in depth, Lord also gives the answer. Her 6th question is, what is the nature of time? Right. Then Lord gives the answer, characteristics of the time. That is the 29th chapter, the concluding part. Explain me different types of bhakti. Now, who will ask this question, types of bhakti? Her another question is, please explain me the processes of yoga. The Lord talks about Ashtanga yoga and, goes in depth about Ashtanga yoga and everything. Because the questions are put in that kind of depth, that's why we see, the Lord is also giving answers in those depths. Correct?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. So just to recap, Prabhuji, for my understanding, so the actual Bhagavatam start between Shonaka Rishis and Sutta Goswami. In that we have Parshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami. In that Vidura Maitreya. In that now we are having discussion between Devahuti and Kapil Dev. Is that correct? The sequence?
Yeah. So it is, discussion within discussion within discussion. That is the model Bhagavatam follows.
Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
And
So
Prabhuji,
this,
Devavati is the mother of Supreme Personality of Godhead, not ordinary woman. Yes.
Yeah, yes. She's mother. She's complete.
Yes, sir. So her questions are like means to elevate the living entities to the proper
Okay.
consciousness.
Her inner mood is also like to elevate the living entity. Yeah, yes, that is also there. Later we'll see Father is also asking such questions. Where? That is Vasudev Narad Samvad. That comes. Vasudevji is father of God, right? He is Godfather. But he is also asking these questions that, my dear Narada Muni, please explain me how to attain the Supreme Lord. Later in this chapter, when we conclude these pastimes of Kapila Muni, later it will come, the Lord says, this is the way, my dear mother, you will attain me. And somebody will say, "Arey, what is this attain me? Lord is sitting next to you. You are, cooking for him. You are, I mean, as a baby, you have bathed him. Everything you have done for him. That is different. To attain me, the Lord says, this is the way you will attain me." So it goes, now next chapter is little tougher chapter. But again, when activities of Kapila, very, very beautiful chapter it is. And how Devotee concludes her life and everything comes very nicely there. Right? So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
Thank
Prabhupada.
you, Prabhupada. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, one more small question.
Yes.
Generally, when Parikshit Maharaj Shukadev Goswami discussion was happening, in that assembly, Suta Goswami was there. And he spoke to Shaunaka Rishis. This logic makes sense. But here, when Devahuti and Kapila Muni was discussing, do we expect some assembly person was there in the discussion who had explained this to Vidura somewhere or Maitreya? Or this is like different yugas and the knowledge is like...
Right. Maitreya is also studying scripture. And
Okay.
this is the Sankhya Yoga. And he says that now I will explain you the ancient Sankhya Yoga process. Because your questions are quite similar to these questions asked by Devahuti, and where Lord explained the system of Sankhya. And this is how it continues. So Maitreya himself is a vastly learned soul. And and that's how he comes up and he gives all these discussions here. But it is always one source quoting another.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.